All right, we're live. Welcome back to Universal Devils. I hope you guys are staying safe and doing well. It's been almost 10 days since the transfer window has opened up again, and Manchester United have been active. They've been going out and trying to figure out deals, but so far we don't really have anything confirmed. Having said that, there are a few who seem to be coming in, and that's exactly what we're going to be discussing today. And now we're back. Hey!
The boys are
Once
back.
again,
The boys are finally back.
welcome
The band
back.
is back.
The band is back. Guys, I just realized that I did an entire introduction without actually showing our faces. So let me do this once again. Welcome back to Universal Devils, and I hope you guys are staying safe and doing well. As I spoke about, it's been almost 10 days since the transfer window has opened. It looks like we mean business. That's exactly what we're going to be discussing with my two amazing guests. That's Tanmay and Sam. It's good to have you guys back. Sam, uh, first time in a long time. Good to have you back. So I think I want to start with you.
hmm
What's your overall perspective of the current Manchester United situation? If whatever's in your heart, you can just spill it out.
Yeah. To be honest, I want to start this off by saying it's a pleasure to be back on the show. Um, yeah, I think we're in a really interesting time. I think we've possibly hit rock bottom. I know we say that every year, but it's been a really bad year this year. We're playing David Moyes football, and we spent 1 billion on the club. So there needs to be some serious investment in the team. I think in the infrastructure. I think the club's a shambles, but I'm hoping with Inui's taking over, I I'm praying that we get a different outcome. I think Ten Hag needs to stay at the club. I think he needs to be given more time. I think you look at Arsenal with Arteta. They gave him 3, 4, 5 years to build a team, and look what he's done. If you just get rid of Ten Hag, we're going to bring in another world class manager, and then we're going to sack him after 2 years because that's all we've been doing. So I think, you know, I'm looking forward to the new season. I'm hoping we make the right transfers, but I think this is definitely a season to forget about, and hopefully we take a step in the right direction next season.
So, taking off from something that you just said, Sam, talking about transfer window, hopefully,
Mm.
right now, each and every United fan is hopeful that Ineos is a little different than what we have been and gotten used to
Mm.
in the last 8 to 10 seasons. So, taking that forward, a lot of news coming out right now. This I'll jump into Tanmay, and then I'll come back to you, Sam. How do you see the last 1 week since the transfer window has opened? How do you see Manchester United's progression in terms of the incomings and outgoings? Are you happy with what has been done so far?
Yeah, I'm happy because if you look at the previous season, so usually there used to be only rumors that United is linked with this player, linked with that player, but now we are getting some proper news that United has been linked with a particular player, but because of a couple of reasons, United is not pursuing this transfer or is looking at alternative players as well. So certain things have changed under Ratcliffe, but only time will come. Only time will tell, I will say. Because right now we haven't signed anyone, so I can't say much about Ratcliffe or his new team.
The kind of noises that we have been hearing out, it seems like we are very much going to target a center back and striker as the two priority positions coming in. Let's start with the hottest possible news right now, which is Joshua Zirkzee. Sam,
Mm.
how much do you know about this guy, and would you be happy to have him in the squad, or is there any other alternative that you think we should have targeted?
Well, I'm not sure too much about the specific player for me personally, but I think some of the other players would be new, such as Braithwaite and De Ligt. I think they're solid. We need a centre back. I think the likes of Lindelof can't really play for this club anymore. We're getting rid of Varane. It is important that we invest in that centre back role. Now, who we bring in is important because I think we shouldn't overspend just because we're desperate. Paying 80 mil for a centre back just because he's British isn't a worthy investment. We need to invest in a few different young players for the future. So we need a new striker. We need a couple new wingers because Sancho needs to go, Anthony will go, and I think over investing in one specific player is the biggest risk we have at the moment. We need to try and get the best deals that we can while ensuring that we make the best deals.
So you've taken us towards the center backs. So let's talk about the center backs first.
Mm.
Guys, 70 million, 80 million, if that's what Everton want for Jared Branthwaite, I think it would be absolutely ridiculous to go ahead with it. So at this point, it seems like it's not going to happen. So in that sense, I like you said, Sam, I don't think that it's worth spending another 70 million on a center back, an English center back, once you've already been burned with that current situation. What do you think, both of you? Can come up with alternatives. Personally, now there is news coming out that we're inquiring about Lenny Yoro. I feel that he's definitely Real Madrid bound, so I wouldn't put that name into the contention. Just give me not one, but two alternatives to Jared Branthwaite, each of you, who you think can fill in the shoes with a much more reasonable value. Tanmay, two.
So I will go with Delict. He knows Ten Hag system and it's cheaper than Barrett White. And then on top of that, but his wages are something that I'm worried about. He's charging huge amount of money. And then second player would be wow. In terms of centre back, there are not many centre backs available in the market at a decent budget because most of the centre backs are available for 50 million, 100 million plus.
Sam, would you want to help him out?
I completely agree, to be honest. I think the asking price that clubs are asking a minute is absolutely absurd. And I think the lit could be something to get on a steal. You could get him in for 30, 40 million. Um, as long as we could lower his wages, I think he would be a good investment to bring into the club.
Uh, I think now that we think about it, we have Dillit who is coming out to be someone which we are not really like. It's not in the media as such that we're strongly behind him because probably we still have some hopes with Branthwaite left. I think the one person that we will target a hint, like just a hunch, we'll probably be looking at Mark Guehi coming in, because I think that would be somewhere around 50, 55 million, hoping that for Sam's sake, that England do go ahead a little more and they do play a little better. We have time later, we'll speak about England as well. Uh, but if England go on to the later stages, then definitely Guehi's price will increase because he is currently their first choice centre back with John Stones. Other than that, if you guys remember that there was a lot of talk about Bremer till about a couple of months back. Now we don't really hear much. Are you happy with this? This is like a general conversation. Are you guys happy with the way you see us moving in this transfer window? Because we're just going by reports that Manchester United is targeting strikers. Then you hear a few names, and centre backs a few names, and midfielders a few names. It's for me personally, it's refreshing. But what do you guys think? Is it just talk and no game, or is there something more going on behind the scenes? Sam.
I think you need to take it with a pinch of salt because Manchester United is linked with everyone, every single window. So I think, it's exciting. We've got new owners. Of course, there's a time to be excited. We beat Man City in the FA Cup final. Things could be on the turn. But I'd also say let's not overreact. As a fan base, we have a tendency to always jump too fast. A player doesn't perform for 2 matches and we say shit. Then all of a sudden he plays good and we say he's world class. So I just think take everything with a pinch of salt this time, and just let the transfer window unfold.
And Tanmay, would you like to add something to that?
Yeah, I agree with Sam because every season we get linked to more than 100 players. And as Radcliffe said, that it will take United around 2 or 3 windows, like proper windows, to build a proper squad. So we fans don't need to jump and think that, wow, we will have a world-class team in just one window because it's not possible. We can only expect the club to sign 2 or 3 decent players. So that's what I'm having to say.
In that sense, I'm also keeping an eye on what's happening in the X world, which used to be Twitter. And the latest information coming out right now, because we're talking about center backs, is another Bologna player. His name is Riccardo Calafiori. He's a 21-year-old center back who can play center back. And dude, I'm telling you, there is a reason why we're probably targeting left footer in the center back area because this guy, he can play center back and he can play left back. He's a 21-year-old kid who is left footed. Just going by his stats, I can see that he's pretty good with the ball. He's decent with pace. He's got good defensive attributes. So there is clearly some reason why we're targeting a left footer. Do you think that they don't really have that much faith in Martinez, not as a player, but his injury record? And we need like a proper backup because we've been playing Luke Shaw over there, and even Luke Shaw is not fit. So there's a reason we're looking for a young centre back who is left footed.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, for a while, Maguire was getting benched over Luke Shaw. And, you know, we've had a massive injury problem at centre backs. We haven't had Varane pretty much all year. We haven't had Martinez all year. And you can see how we play without a solid centre back partnership. So I think, you know, the club knows this. They need a foundation. So they're trying to invest in a left footed centre back, you know, who ultimately isn't injury prone and isn't going to go out after 2 or 3 matches.
It's very intriguing. And I'm 100% sure that before the end of this month, we'll have a definite say on who we are actually targeting as our centre back options. And it feels like it's going to be a younger left footed centre back and maybe a right footed, uh, keeping Lenny Oro aside, maybe someone who will be starting besides alongside Lisandro Martinez. Tanmay, the closest right now we feel we are to a deal is for that rhymed. The the closest we are to a deal is Joshua Zirkzee. That seems like the hottest one right now. Let's talk specifically about that player because we need to figure out how this guy fits into our team. Um, how much do you know about him, Tanmay? And would you be happy to have him as the second striker option or the one who will give competition to Rasmus Højlund?
Okay, so this guy Joshua, I saw the valuation that he's having. He's having a release clause of around 33 million, plus his agent is asking around 8 million. So it's about 40 million plus. Secondly, Joshua is a very young player, just like Hoylund. So it doesn't make sense to me why we'll be signing another young center forward, whereas we need a proper experienced center forward. So this is something that I'm not really sure about whether we should go and sign this particular player or not. And lastly, who the F is this guy? I don't even know him. Who is this Joshua?
Sam, before I come to you, there are two things I need to do. Firstly, is share this link of this live to our Instagram page. But before I do that, so that there is a little more context to Joshua Zirkzee, a few things that I would like to bring in terms of stats. This is specifically league related. The man has played 34 games. He started about 32 of them, and he scored 11 goals with an expected goals xG of 9.01. In terms of the attributes that he has a goal conversion of 13%. Rasmus, if I'm not mistaken, had a goal conversion of 24%. Other than that, he had 4 assists, Joshua Zirkzee. So that's 11 goals and 4 assists. Expected assist is 2.54. The thing where he excels and the thing what makes him different from Rasmus, which I feel is a good thing, is he is more of coming towards the ball kind of a person. So Rasmus looks like more who would want to run behind. He looks more like someone who would be in the box. That's the kind of finishes that we've seen him. And I honestly, that's the kind of striker I want in my first team. Joshua Zirkzee is like the opposite of it. So when I say opposite, he's more of someone who will carry the ball, who will dribble past players. He likes to come towards the ball. He is someone who would like to link up play in a more involved way. When I say involved, more like a Harry Kane kind of a way and less Haaland way. I'm not saying that he is Harry Kane. I'm just saying that he likes to be involved with the game. and he's someone who can definitely play off a striker, like as a second striker if needed. He can play off the wing if needed. So there is a proper, I would say, a balance to these kind of strikers that we'll have. We'll have one who is a pure number nine in Hoyland, who has all the attributes to run behind, but he's primarily more in the box. And then we'll have someone like a Xerxes. If we want to change the game, we can definitely change the game by bringing him in and trying something different. Now that you have this information, what do you think, Sam? Would he be okay? Are you happy with this signing if you end up getting him, or would you also have an alternative? After you say this, I have another alternative that I will provide, and then Tanmay me will again kill me for it, but I'll come back to that later. Sam, he already
No,
knows who I'm going to talk about.
well, I
Oh,
think I kind of want to know now. I think I should just skip my part and go straight to that.
We'll come back to that. Go ahead, Sam.
No, I think he's a solid striker and he's got potential, but I don't think a striker is the main position he needs to invest in. If you look at Hoyland, he didn't get the service last year. He had the best conversion rate in the whole league, right, as a striker, but he wasn't getting service. If he had been given the service that Man City give Haaland, who knows the amount of goals he could have scored. So I think it's more important, in my personal opinion, to get a creative winger, someone who's not selfish. And like Garnacho, for example, he's a great young baller, but he's very selfish. We need someone who's creative and is willing to provide the ball to Hoyland. I think that's more important, in my opinion, than bringing in a second striker. It's a good signing, but I don't think I'd want to pay more than 40 million for him.
That's good, Sam, because I think it's probably around 35 million pounds his release clause. So I think that fits in well. And you know what? You've very nicely taken the conversation further, because I completely agree with you that we require a proper creator on the wing. We desperately need it. I so hope that Sancho could have been that person, but definitely that ship has sailed. Let's talk about the interesting news that came out yesterday, where
oh.
within 5 minutes, Ornstein gave us hope and then broke our hearts. So Chelsea move out of the race for Michael Olise, and within the next 5 minutes, he drops another bomb saying that he is ready to accept Bayern Munich as his next destination. That that looks like a hit to us, but it also makes sense that we clearly don't have the money right now to go ahead and break the bank for him, pay his release clause, and get him out. So that option is definitely out. Putting this across to you guys, who do you see coming in if we are really going to target? Because I'm worried that Mason Greenwood, Jadon Sancho, maybe one, two more players, we need to desperately sell them first to go out and do anything in terms of the creative winger market. Is there anyone else that you guys think we can bring in? Tanmay, bringing this to you.
So the thing is that what I feel is first we will sell certain players like Sancho and Greenwood, and whatever money we are able to generate from that, by looking at that particular budget, we can properly see, okay, so this is a particular player that we can afford. Because right now we can't speculate that this is a player that we should target because we don't know what kind of money we do have in our hand for the budget to sign a winger.
So now it seems like it's a big, but I would say a roadblock right now, considering the news that came out was we have like 50 million, maybe 60 million to spend net, and anything else beyond that would be directly related to our sales. Sam,
Mm.
where, where do you see players like Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood, Casemiro, and others going in? Because it's going to be complicated. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Sancho's got to go. Both parties all involved. He performs at Dortmund. He's fallen out with the club. I don't see a future with him at the club. Along with Greenwood, I think, there's talks of getting 30, 40 million for Greenwood, which I think would be a good thing to do. There's also talks of him in a possible swap deal for Chiesa. I'm not sure how reliable that is, but that would sort out the wing problem, because I think Chiesa is a fantastic footballer and would suit the club. The likes of Casemiro, look, I love Casemiro, but Jamie Carragher actually said something for once that was very true. And he said, leave the football before the football leaves you. And I think with Casemiro, the football is leaving him. Unfortunately, he's 32, 33, and he's just not the footballer he was. And there are Saudi teams offering 35 million for him. If we can sell Casemiro for 35 million, just get him gone. That could be a new young player. I think it's best for all parties if he goes.
Do you think, because there was news also coming out that there is still a little bit of convincing that is to be done when it comes to Casemiro to the Saudi League, because he may feel that he has still a lot to offer in the European stage. Do you think that's something that he will consider strongly? Because still about a week back, I was very sure. I was very sure that this guy is going to go for sure. He's going to earn the money. He's had a fantastic career. Now he can just sit back for the remaining 2, 3, 4 years of his life of playing
Mm.
and earn the big moolah. So you guys
Mm.
think that he'll actually go ahead with it?
Well, I think he's got a winner's mentality. I mean, he's won 5 Champions Leagues. He's won multiple La Ligas. You can't deny that. He's a fantastic player, and he's hungry. He said that when he came to United, he wanted to win the Prem. So maybe he goes elsewhere in Europe. I just don't see him keeping up with the intensity of the Premier League. I mean, the Premier League is the most intense league in the world. You don't get the freedom that you get in other leagues. And it's very physically draining on the body. So I just don't see a future where he can be a consistent starter. Maybe he comes on as a super sub, maybe a player that the young players can look up to as a leader. But I just don't see him being a regular starter at Man United anymore.
And that's the issue, right? Because now the way I see things moving, first person to officially leave the first high class departure was Rafael Varane. And Ineos quickly moved in to the market to try and find a replacement for him. Now, the other things, the next person who you can say was one of the first teamers was Anthony Martial. He departed. So now we see Ineos and Manchester United going in for a striker. I think there is a pattern that is developing. There's a reason why we are firstly linked with a centre back and a striker. So maybe a winger will come once we solve out Mason Greenwood, Jadon Sancho. A midfielder would come once we sort out Christian Eriksen, Casemiro. It looks like the most sensible strategy right now, the way we are going. So I feel within the next week, probably with the start of next month, we'd start seeing a lot more when it comes to sales. Like right now, all we're hearing is a centre back, and of course, there are conversations going behind the scenes for sales, I'm sure. But right now, the primary area of importance is the striker and the centre back. Sam, quickly bringing in few stats for Chiesa, because you mentioned him, and there was news that there could be a possibility of a swap. In the league, this man played 33 games, started
Mm.
25. He
Mm.
scored 9 goals from the wing with an expected XG of 6.43, which is good because he's scoring more than he should have. He's got 2 assists. Now, this is the key issue area for us, because our wingers is something that we need something desperately, is the creative aspect. So he's got 2 assists, surprisingly, to be honest, and
Mm.
with an expected assist of 5.58.
Mm.
He's So that means basically the strikers are effing up his chances.
Yeah.
He's got a big chance creation of 12. Key passes 1.6 per game. He has got, where is his dribbling stats? Man, I need to see if he can carry the ball. So he's got a successful dribble percentage of 42%, which is
Mm.
again surprisingly low. For some reason, I thought it would be more. So someone to keep an eye on. There's probably a reason why Juventus are okay with letting him go, but this is a name that comes out like a lot, and he primarily plays from the left. So I can see a few red flags coming in for Chiesa.
Yeah, I mean, he plays on the left, which would be difficult for the likes of Garnacho, Rashford. But Rashford has had a shocking season in and of itself, so he can't be guaranteed football every year, I don't think. And Garnacho, I think he's still young to expect him to be a starting left winger. I mean, he's what, only just 20, 19, 20. So it's a lot of pressure. You know, I'm 20 years old, mate. You couldn't put me on the left wing at Man United and say, yeah, you're starting from now on. You
Do,
know?
do not do
Go
not
on, son.
undersell
Go
yourself.
on.
Do not undersell yourself. By the way, I wanted to say this to Tanmay also. Now I can bring it up because the chat is nice and easy right now. It's been 20 minutes into the conversation. The last time I saw you, Sam, you look like a kid, man. Now I can see that you've grown some. I can see some muscle coming onto your face. I can see you've been boxing. You're out there now.
Yeah, well, man, it's been a few years. Last time you saw me, I was what, like 17. You know, now I'm
So
20.
17, 18. Yep.
Yeah, I put the hat on, so I don't do that today.
So, what's happening in your life? Are you trying to pursue a career in boxing? Is it like a hobby that you had all
Yeah,
along?
it's just a hobby. Yeah, no, well, I've been boxing for about 2, 3 years now, but I've just started fighting. So I fight for the university I'm at. But it's good. It's like really good for your mind. It's good for the fitness. I'm really, really enjoying it.
I can see that. I can see that from your face because like, the first thing when I saw you, I was like, dude, this kid is grown.
Thanks, bro. I really appreciate
Tanmay, I swear I would pay to see an MMA or a boxing match between David and Sam.
Whoa. I'll be in the front row, Mike, along with you.
it. Hey, David, I'm calling you out live, but let's run it.
I'm going to clip this specifically and I'm going to show it to him. And I'm 100% sure that he'll be on one of these lives very soon. And that would be something very interesting to see. Sam, dude, I completely forgot. Tanmay, I completely forgot. I was talking about the strikers, right? So last time Tanmay and I were having a conversation, and he basically called me out for it later on Instagram. Listen, dude, think before you react to the name, listen to what I'm saying. Okay, before reacting,
Okay.
we need a nice blend with experience where we have Rasmus Holland who's young. Now imagine we get someone experienced. And what if I tell you that this experienced striker is 32? The man has a release clause of 15 million and he scored 16 goals last season. Currently in the Euros, he captained his side. Would you be excited or interested to know who I'm talking about? Just this much.
He's going to say Wegos, isn't he, or something? So...
No, 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 no. Okay, so Sam, just by this information, would you be interested in at least? Oh, this could be this could be someone we can go for, without
Yeah,
knowing the
but
name.
what league does he play in?
La Liga.
Okay, maybe.
Just
Yeah.
ask his name.
So you would be interested, right? So
I
it's
mean,
not like a
yeah, if I didn't know
stupid.
who the bloke was and you told me them stats, I'd be like, yeah, I'll get him in. Why not?
Exactly my point. And now, if I tell you the name is Alvaro Morata, what would be your reaction?
Oh no.
I was telling you, Mike. I was telling
I
you.
mean, oh, I mean,
Don't
it's
fall
one
the
of those
trap.
players
Don't fall
so
for the
good and
trap.
so shit at the same time. Like he's just so good and so bad. Like
It's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout.
I will
15
take
million.
Chicharito. I will take Chicharito over Morata any day.
So, okay, so you're telling me, Tanmay, you would take a retired Chicharito over someone who's banging in the goals,
No,
who just banged in goals, who's 15 million,
no,
and who's captaining his
he's
side
not
right now?
retired. He's not retired. He's playing in Mexico currently.
Sam,
He's still
would you take
playing.
Morata or Chicharito back? You're the deciding vote right now.
oh, that's difficult, you know. That's difficult, but I can't lie. Nah, I think I have to take Morata. I've got to take Morata.
Come on, Chicharito is much cheaper. He's much cheaper. He can come in, guide Hoylund, score some
Do-
bangers in the end.
Tanmay, do
In
you
9 minutes.
remember? You remember Chicharito's first goal? He had scored against Chelsea with the fucking hit. Oh shit! Bang.
Yeah.
Sorry, which hit his literally leg, ass, face, and went in. Yeah,
Yeah. All
we
over the
we'll
body.
have to we'll have to pray he does that again because that is the only way he'll be able to score at this stage of his career. Even though I love Chicharito. That's the only way he's getting any goals, man. Um,
And what about
so
Morata
it is,
missing open goals? What about Morata missing open goals?
dude.
Yes, that's a problem.
As a he scored 16 goals for Atletico Madrid last season. Come on, guys, you can't just negate that.
Yeah, but if you scored 16 goals, but they were all open goals, it's not exactly a good stat, is it? You know.
Yeah, you know what? Wait, just to prove my point, I'm going to get his stats out. Just to
Okay.
prove my point. And the man has already scored in the Euros, by the way. Okay,
Even
so
Eriksen
he
scores
played.
in Euros. What about that?
Wait, Tanmay, wait. He's played 32 games last season, scored 15 goals with an expected XG of 13.78. Okay, that's not bad. And he got 3 assists. So that's basically 18 goal contributions in 32 games. Don't tell me that's bad. That's not good. He has a conversion rate. Dude, come on. He has a goal conversion rate of 22%. Rasmus had 24. And with someone who doesn't get chances in our team, that's a good conversion rate. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying that we should go and sign him. I'm just putting it out there. It's not a bad option.
Even Vega scored in Euros. So you want us to sign him again?
The man had dyed his hair red because he wanted to come to us that bad. Come on, you gotta give him that.
That's
He's
pretty.
not
I
that
got
bad
to
an
admit,
option.
that's pretty good,
But
man.
man, huge respect to Igalo. Igalo did a fantastic job at centre forward position for us. Igalo did a
Sam is
great
like,
job.
Sam is like, I'm done with this conversation. I don't know why I wanted to come. They're talking about Morata and Igalu for F's sake.
He scored one goal, mate.
By the way, we are also linked to Jonathan David as another
Yeah, Jonathan
option.
David is good.
So if I give you a choice, both of you, between Xerxes and Jonathan David, and till that time, give me the reason as well. Till then, I'll remove his stats and keep so that we can discuss that further. Jonathan David or Xerxes, your pick. Anyone, go for it.
Okay, so I will go first. I will go for Jonathan David because we have seen Jonathan David more than Joshua. And secondly, Jonathan David is a player who's been playing at this level for a long time. Whereas Joshua is just a guy who just randomly popped up from nowhere. So Jonathan David has certain kind of experience or caliber, you can say, to perform.
Sam,
Yeah, I don't know much about either player, to be honest with you. So I'm not really equipped to have this discussion. But I will say, looking at Jonathan David's stats right now, he last year, is it last year? Yeah, he's bagged 19 goals and 4 assists in League One. So it's good numbers. You can't complain with that. You know.
it's crazy thing is that even I was surprised. I just got his stats out, and I didn't expect it to be this good. It's decent. It's really good. Like you said, Sam, it's 19 goals, 4 assists, with a conversion XG of 17.47. The thing that really interests me, and this for every striker that we're linked with, the first thing I see, guys, because I don't trust our creative impetus when it comes to our attack. I really don't. So the first thing I see is the goal conversion rate. Because these guys, poor guys, whoever comes in, are not going to get chances. So they have to make the best of what they get. And even he has a goal conversion rate of 24%, which is Hoyland's. And that's good. That's a good goal conversion rate. So that I think the reason why we seem to be going for Xerxes could be only two reasons. Firstly, is because we are specifically looking for something different than what Rasmus offers. And the other one that I'm terrified to even say is because he's Dutch. Ten Hag is Dutch.
Yeah, he's got a
Go-
thing for Dutch, doesn't
yeah,
he?
we're going for that again. What is this? 1 second. Breaking. Oh man, let me translate this post. Okay, it's the same thing. Juventus ready to offer Federico Chiesa's name to Mason Green for a Mason Greenwood deal swap. He's got 37 games, 10 goals, 3 assists. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling this one.
Chiesa,
Uh,
okay, look, Chiesa will perform for Man United if you make Chiesa wear Italian national team jersey for every single match day and play some Italian national anthem before the start of the match. Then Chiesa will
Th-
perform.
He's good. He's good for the national team. I'll agree with that. I think we can smoothly move on because right now I'm looking at anything else latest popping up in terms of incomings. I don't really see anything else.
Okay,
So
there
we
is
can,
one thing I want to say, Paras.
yeah,
So Sam said one line about Carragher. Carragher was like, "Leave football before football leaves you." So I just wanted to say, add on to this. Then why the fuck Carragher still continued his career as a footballer, or even he's continuing his career as a pundit? Why he has not left his job?
That's a good question. It's a good question.
so dude, Sam, you wouldn't remember it much because of your age. Tanmay, dude, I don't want to pop out your age in public, so you can leave it in the live chat, in a private chat, not live chat, because Carragher, I've seen Carragher playing. He was rubbish. I don't know what's the hype behind Carragher. He was such an ordinary player. The man would move like Harry Maguire, and for some reason, later on in his career, they decided to move him to right back. Dude would get annihilated every single time he played at right back. And then I don't know. I don't know what the fuss is about. I really don't. Besides
Mika
that,
Richards and Carragher thinks that they are world-class players, whereas Gary Neville, which next to them, he's like, I'm just a bang average player. Whereas Gary Neville was 10 times better player than Carragher or Mika Richards.
that's the thing, right? That's why he doesn't have to say anything. It's the empty vessels make the most noise, is what they say. Crap players want to prove that they talk about crap players. People like fucking, oh shit, there I go again. People like Agbon Lahore, and the amount of crap these pundits, these non-United pundits speak. Oh my god,
To be
it's
honest, the
like a
best one,
different section.
Roy Keane, he's the most accurate because he's brutally honest with United and with every club. He actually gives you a solid opinion. I think if you got Roy Keane in our dressing room right now, he'd sort every player out. He's the type of man you want on there.
Even Paul Scholes. Even Paul Scholes.
Yeah, I
Dude,
agree.
Yeah, Paul Scholes also. I feel when it comes to someone like even I don't know if you guys have been noticing Wayne Rooney now. Even he speaks pretty much straightforward. He doesn't hide back. The only politician that we have who's gone on to become a pundit is Gary Neville.
Yeah.
He speaks at times as if he hates us because he's trying to cover up his allegiance to our club so drastically. So I
Mm.
don't understand that. Uh, Quickly moving
He's
on
actually a
to the next
politician.
thing.
Gary Neville.
Sorry.
Gary Neville is actually a politician. Gary Neville wants to
Yeah,
be a politician.
100%, man, 100%. I just wanted to take the conversation further now because we discussed a lot about the incomings and we touched on the fact that we really desperately need to make sales. Besides the obvious one, which is probably going to be Mason Greenwood and Jadon Sancho. Uh, I, till, like I said, till about a week back, I was very sure about Casemiro leaving. I still think he will, but I'm a little not like 100% conviction. I can say that okay, he is going to leave. Sam and Tanmay, one by one, besides Mason Greenwood and Jadon Sancho, give me five names that you think should definitely leave this transfer window. That
Should I
Tanmay
start
wants to
first?
go. Let him go. What?
Aaron Van Bissaka. Aaron Van
Yeah.
Bissaka. Man, the guy, when I see him playing football, I just want to cry. Like, have you seen him? Have you noticed him? Like the moment when he goes for attack, the way he runs, it's like watching something on slow motion. The way he runs during the time of attack.
So that's Aaron Wan-Bissaka is one who is definitely linked with Fenerbahce, and I think he will be one who leaves. I have a feeling that he will definitely leave. What about the other four, Tarma?
Second one will by Sancho. Can I include Sancho and Greenwood as well?
Besides
Or
Sancho and Greenwood, we need like
okay,
about 8 to 10 players to leave, man. So
so
besides Sancho and
Anthony,
Greenwood,
so Anthony will be there. Pelestri will be there. Then I believe. Victor Lindelof or Maguire. One of them will be there. And then I will put Ericsson and then Casemiro.
Mm.
So out of these, I unfortunately the only one which seems unrealistic is Anthony, because no one is going to pay for him. No one is going to take him on board with the season that he's had.
Ajax. Ajax can pay
They
because
loan
Anthony
him,
used
man.
to play.
They loan him,
Yeah,
and then we'll have to pay his
they are
wages.
smart. Yeah, they are smart. We are dumb.
Sam, Sam, your five picks.
He's said most of the players I would pick. I mean, Anthony's probably top of that. He's got to go. Casemiro, obviously Varane's already gone. Lindelof, I'd say, has to go. Pellistri, Wan-Bissaka, he's a solid shout as well. Those are the players that definitely need to get gone from.
Ericsson.
Are, so both of you are in agree, like in acceptance that if we had to make a choice between Maguire and Lindelof, you would get rid of Lindelof.
No, it depends on money. What kind of money we are getting? If we need huge amount of money, then we can sell Harry Maguire and get a good quality centre back like Jared or De Ligt. If you're not getting that much money for Maguire, let's sell Victor Lindelof, get a decent backup centre back.
So that's what they've been saying. If we lose one more centre back, then they'll go for the second centre back. So it would be two going and two coming. If right now it's only Varane, so they're looking for one. Uh, in terms of the midfield, even if Casemiro stays, there is a shout that someone can make for another CDM coming in because we had Amrabat, who was basically the cover for Casemiro before. Because Meno, he's going to be a
Disconsider.
fantastic player, but yeah, it's like if you put him in the number six position, you're hampering him. You're literally taking half of his skills away. So there is a contention for like even if Casemiro stays, we still might have to get someone, and in that sense, probably keep someone like an Amrabat because he'll be the cheapest to keep. We've already paid like 5 million or 10 million for him. We need to pay just a margin more above that. Is there any Jao Neves? I think right now is the most highly linked and probably the most liked player in that
No, no,
department for
no.
us, but he's a bit too expensive.
Palinia, Jao Palinia.
He's
He's
going
a
to
good
be another
player.
50, 60 million.
Yeah, at least 40 million, you can say. But he will be off
Yeah,
to Bayern Munich,
yeah. And I think
and he
Sam
has
has
a work.
gone. Sam has gone to go and get himself linked with the winger position, like he discussed before. Wait, I think some connection problem has happened. I'm sure he's going to pop
Yeah,
back up. Till then, Tanmay, let's
yeah.
come finish up a conversation talking about the comments that had come in. Okay, wait, Sam is back. Let him. I have an option to kick him out of the studio. Shall I do that?
No, let's take him. It's come after a long time. He's back after a long time.
I'm retire again. Go back into retirement.
Just as you're coming in, Sam, I was just speaking with Tanmay about having a conversation regarding the very. I got to give it to him. I got to give it to Sir Jim that when he speaks to the media, when gives interviews, he's very particular about what he wants. He doesn't hide from anything. And I just wanted to bring his conversation into our chat for the last 10 minutes, basically. And so many things he mentioned, so many things. Wait 1 second, let me just bring it up because I don't want to misquote him. Um, I want to start off with what he said about the whole fiasco with Todibo because that that option of having Todibo as a center back would be like 35, 40 million. Trust me, if we weren't banned from signing him, I think we were going to get him for sure. So
I
what
feel
do you
like
think
it was
about
a
that?
dig. I feel like that particular statement was a dig at Manchester City and all the football associations for creating such kind of rules.
No, but it doesn't make sense to me
Yeah,
if you're letting both the teams compete in the same competitions, if that has been accepted. and we are going to pay a fair price for him. It's not like we're paying 5 million to Nice and bringing Jean-Claude Todibo in. So
A club
let
can.
me just
A club can.
let me just get his quotes, and after that we can have a quick discussion about it.
Yeah.
So this is what he said about the situation. We've got a player in Nice who was interested in Manchester United and probably has the capability. They have said, and they is UEFA, that we can sell him to any other Premiership club, but we can't sell him to Manchester United. But that's not fair on the player, and I don't see what this achieves. And I completely agree with this. What do you guys think, Sam?
Well, you have Manchester City, they get away with 115, financial fair play rules, but what we get scrutinised. Like, I think that's bollocks, if quite frankly, excuse my language, but like, there's just double standards. There's such a double standard, and to me, that makes no sense. As you said, rightfully, Perez, no party wins in the situation.
It makes no sense. Like, I understand if we were doing something dodgy, like we were agreeing a loan option with Nice with a confirmed option to buy. If we were doing something like that, because we don't have the money right now to pay, so we're going to loan him and then we're going to pay later. I
Mm.
Then it seems dodgy. Then I understand. But this is
Mm.
a straightforward deal, man. We are ready to pay his 35, 40 million, and the player is not allowed to join where he wants to join. That makes no sense.
Look, I have a plan. What Olise needs to do, they should make him a free agent, and then United can approach him and sign him.
You should burn his contract
Checkmate.
down with Nice.
Yeah, checkmate. Come on, we only
Oh,
have to pay
dude.
his wages. Come on, they only need to
See,
pay his wages. That United can obviously cover up, and then we just need.
unfortunately, even as how smart that sounds, even though I know you're joking, if Manchester City would do something like this, nothing would have happened.
Yeah,
If we even think about doing something like this, we'll be
they will burn
scrutinized
the city
from
down. They will burn
from
the city down.
exactly. Okay, and moving on to the next thing that he spoke about Eric Ten Hag's current situation. And this is something that he backed up on because a couple of months back he said the same thing. And one second, I will be back. You can further discuss.
Okay.
This happens in live videos, huh? I'll be back. You guys can continue the conversation.
Uh, Man, I was, I wanted Sesko to sign at United, but he signed a new contract
Mm.
because he
Yeah,
was
I
a
know.
decent player.
Yeah, he's a very good player. Another player I've been looking at as well is Xavi Simons. I know he's linked with a lot of players, but I think he could be a baller. I mean, he'd probably be quite a lot of money because I know Barcelona
Xavi
linked with him.
Simons, he
But
doesn't fit our profile, Mike. If you look, we need someone like Eriksen. So Eriksen and Pogba, they have a similar profile because we already have someone like Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes, and you're bringing in Xavi Simons. So it's like three players of similar profile. It doesn't work. Even if you
mm,
put Mason
What did I
Mount.
miss? What did I
Yeah,
miss?
so he was talking about bringing Xavi Simons.
As a
It
creative
didn't fit.
player, as a creative
It
player,
didn't
yeah.
fit.
Does he play in the wing on the wings? Because that's the kind of creative player we require right now.
he plays
I
between the
don't think
wings,
so.
the attacking midfielder. He plays between the three roles.
Yes. We can barely get Mason Mount on the team, man. How
Mm.
I don't know how this will work
He's
unless we
injured,
decide
man.
to change our
He's been very
formation.
unlucky. He's
Yeah.
been
So,
very unlucky with his injuries.
dude, I think he's been. I don't know. People are really not taking him seriously, like you said, Tanmay, because of his injuries. I think he's going to be a
So
game changer, hopefully, this
it's a
coming
game
season.
changer. If you look at Mason Mount in last 10 years, if you look at the highest goal scorer or the most number of assists or most number of chances created, most number of game time, and you will see the name of Mason Mount on the list of Chelsea. Like he's their best player, and we literally got their best player. It's like you literally signed Bruno Fernandes at United. So that's what we did. We went to Chelsea, got their best player, and unfortunately, because of his injuries, his entire season got ruined.
Dude, I think we were cursed, man, this last season. And I honestly want to just erase the
Pogba,
entire season
Pogba,
besides the FA Cup.
Yeah, honestly.
Pogba. I'm telling you, mate. I'm telling you.
I think we were coming on back before I was rudely disturbed for the most stupid reason possible. I will share that with you later. We are speaking about we're speaking about what
Sleeping on the couch.
we were speaking about Jim Ratcliffe and his comments on Eric Ten Hag, and he doubled down on this because a few months back, when he gave an interview, he said that the issues at Manchester United go beyond the coach, and that's exactly what he said right now. He mentioned that the coach isn't the central issue at Manchester United. It's a sports club. It needs to be competitive. It needs a degree of intensity, but with a supportive side to it, because you're dealing with players who are relatively young. It hasn't had the type of environment historically. And for this specific thing, I really want to applaud this man because he seems to be, at least his brain is in the right direction.
Mm. No, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, you look at Old Trafford and it's falling to bits. You know, they're talking about possibly moving our stadium out of the Theatre of Dreams, and that's a joke. And, you know, look, I don't agree with Ronaldo's interview, but when he came back and said, after 20 years, I've come back and none of the infrastructure has changed. And when Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, I mean, that speaks volumes. So you need owners who are going to invest in the training ground, who are going to invest in the facilities of the club, because that breeds that mentality for success. If you come into Man United and you see a 20-year-old training ground, immediately you're going to switch off. You're thinking this club doesn't take itself seriously. And that's the trouble we've had. We've had big players come in who think they're bigger than the club because they've come from bigger clubs that are taking, you know, their infrastructure seriously. They come to Man United and they see it's a shambles. So they don't really take it seriously. So I think we needed owners who have that kind of that vision for the club.
Tanmay?
Yeah, I agree with Sam. And Paris, I have a recommendation for you. Like, why don't you come to the UK and visit this newly built place? So it's like third highest waterfall in the UK, and it's located at Old Trafford. But you can only come during the rainy season.
I'm gonna keep that and put that in my itinerary for the next time I have to visit. Dude, I think when you hear these things, it's so based on common sense, and it infuriates me to the point of neglect that we've suffered through as fans and as a club over the last 10 years specifically. It's like it was always the case, but the moment Sir Alex retired, he stepped
David
back.
Gill.
When David Gill retired, he stepped back. It's like everything fell to pieces. And just a follow up and just a continuation to what he said, because this also falls into this conversation point. He spoke about ambitions of becoming someone like Real Madrid. This statement, there's room for improvement everywhere we look at Manchester United, and we will improve everything. We want to be competing for the Premiership every year and the Champions League every year. That's where we need to be, where Real Madrid is today. But it will take time. I think Madrid has done a fantastic job. There is an interesting statistic, and this is what is going to make me want to shoot someone. If you look at the last 10 seasons post Sir Fergie retiring and David Gill retiring, Manchester United net spend is 1.1 billion. United have not been mean with the checkbook. That means you've just splurted out money everywhere. Real Madrid's over the same time has been only 200 million,
That's it.
which is surprising when you hear that, because today they have a squad where you have 6 to 7 players valued more than 100 million euros, and Manchester United don't have any.
Mm.
And Real Madrid have probably built the finest football stadium in the world using the same checkbook. It's a waste. These stats. I think, and Madrid has won like 5 Champions League during that time, 4 or 5 Champions League back to back. When you hear this, it's infuriating
Mm.
to the point of absolute stupidity of the way we've run our club.
Mm. Well, yeah, you know,
Yeah,
we've spent 50 million on players like Fred. You know, that's our business, and you know that's just reflected. That's how it's been for the last 10 years. You know.
Fred, David is not going to like it.
I know. I'm waiting for the backlash.
I had a very interesting debate with him over a comment section where he compared Carrick's departure to Fred's departure, and I wanted to cry. I wanted to put my head on my pillow and cry and scream.
I say nothing. I'm saying nothing.
I'm going to get a heart attack, like Carrick with Fred.
Uh, the last thing that I want to bring in before we call today is it's interesting that Sir Jim is keen on a relationship developing between Manchester United and Nice, because I thought that this man, now that he has United, he's going to go and prep up to sell Nice, but that doesn't seem like the case because this is his quotes. The power structure may be predictable, so it's not our intention to sell Nice. He says, I like the concept of the multi club, and Nice will be complementary to Manchester United. You can blood younger players in Nice because Manchester United sit at a higher level. It's tough to bring an 18 or 19-year-old. Occasionally, you get a Kobe Menu, but it's difficult to blood those type of players. But with Nice, you can do that. That would benefit Nice. Because of Brexit, it is difficult now to contract younger generational talents in Europe, but Nice could help with that. If there's a fantastic 15-year-old in France, we can sign him for Nice and use Nice as a conduit to Manchester United later on. So I personally thought that he will be willing to sell Nice, but it seems like that's not going to be the case. How do you see this multi-club uh, foundation that probably Ineos is looking to build around Manchester United and Nice? Do you think that will be beneficial?
Yeah, it's a great idea because if you look, Manchester City currently operates in this similar format. And secondly, like as we were discussing about Real Madrid being successful, one of the reasons behind Real Madrid being successful is that they have signed many young players. But what United has done in last 10 years, we have signed only big players. And when it came to signing young players, we just splashed 50 million like that. Whereas Real Madrid was not that dumb. So what United can do now is OGC needs can sign young players at a lower amount and then later on sell such players to United. But for that we need to find some kind of loophole.
No, it's very true, Tam, mate. I mean, you look at Man City with players like Doku. I mean, I didn't really know who Doku was until he came to
Yeah.
Manchester City. And look how he's performed. He's elevated. The same with the Kanji, Ake. You know, Man City, they buy players for the future. Jose Mourinho said it best. We buy players from the past, whereas Man City looks for the future. And that's what we need to start doing. Don't buy players like Casemiro anymore. He had his time, but buy young players that have a future. That's the way a football club needs to be run.
And I think you're right. We need to look at it in a very different way because the whole footballing culture and the footballing world has changed. And in today's generation, where in today's market, where players are going in for 50, 60, 100 million, there needs to be a more strategic outlay of how to develop this side of the transfers. And I think it makes sense. There are a lot of people who I come across who don't really like the multi-club, this thing. What do you say? The multi-club. I can't get that word right.
Format.
But
Format.
yeah,
Let's say format.
yeah, exactly. But I don't know why they would think that, because right now the way football is moving, it is moving towards exactly that. You need not just your own youth academy to develop players. You need to have that system. You need to have that web, and teams like the Leipzig group, the Red Bull group, and the City group, these guys are already bearing the advantages of it. So I think it's a very good thing to look forward to. And the last thing that I would like to bring in before we close for the day is Dwight York has made a comment about Joshua Zirkzee, and he basically says that it's baffling that we are linked with someone like him. They need someone who knows how to play in the Premier League. Why would you need a 23-year-old Xerxes when you have a 21-year-old Rasmus Højlund? Erik Ten Hag needs an experienced man at striker alongside Højlund, as he obviously struggled towards the end of last season. Who was one of those
Yeah, I
experienced?
agree with.
He's put in a striker name as well. Nicholas Fulkrug is one of those experienced strikers who has been smashing in the goals
Oh,
lately. But he needs to be the right character. To be at United, you need to show resilience and not a weak mentality. That's how Sir Alex Ferguson was good at finding. That's why I think Holland needs to grow up very quickly. The honeymoon period is over with him. And if he doesn't hit the ground running next season, he will come in under a lot of scrutiny. Now, um, that's one person's opinion. Of course, Dwight York is a fantastic player. He knows what he's talking about. And it clearly brings us around circle into thinking that Alvaro Morata should be the person we should sign. Bye bye, see you, done. Done for the day.
I
He's
will
played in the
even take
Premier League,
Jamie
he's
Vardy.
experienced, he's scoring goals.
I will even
Done.
take Jamie Vardy. I will even take Jamie Vardy.
Guys, this was
Calvert
fantastic,
Lewin.
honestly.
But what about Calvert Lewin? He's also a
I
centre
don't.
forward.
I think he was good till about 3, 4 years back, man, when Ancelotti had got him playing.
Mm, I
Like,
agree.
Yeah, Ancelotti at Everton. Who would have thought
yeah.
that he would manage Everton and then will go to Real Madrid and win UCL? Come on.
The
Like,
crazier things have
from managing
happened,
Real
man.
Madrid to Everton then.
Crazier things have happened, I swear. I think
Like,
let's call it a
like
day.
Sam not doing this. Like Sam not doing this.
You're never gonna let me live that down, man.
Sam, by the way, is your head shaved or something? Because I can't even see it from the sides.
Oh no,
You
no,
go,
I've got hair there. I've got a lot of hair there. But
there it is.
yeah.
No.
But I did shave it all off for a little bit. I went buzz cut, shaved it all off.
I know when you got into the whole boxing thing. I was following your stories.
Got a new look,
Yeah.
man.
Okay, okay, guys. I think this will not end. And just like last time, by the way, Sam, if you want to see something funny, just go to our last live and see the last 2 minutes because there was a very interesting abrupt ending to it, which I don't want to discuss further right now. And I don't want that situation to happen again, which is why I want to wrap it where I can officially wrap it in a very nice way rather than what happened last time. Sam, amazing to have you back. It felt like just like old times. And Tanmay, as always, man, it's always a pleasure to have both of you. And we will see each other again next week, I'm sure, for another live.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're traveling again, Sam, are you?
Yes, I'm going to Thailand on Wednesday.
Whoa. Hmm.
Vienna and now Thailand in a matter of 10 days? You just
Yeah.
come back from Vienna.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
From Vienna to Thailand.
it's a bit different, a little bit different. But no, I'm on uni holiday, so I'm just trying to get on as much things as I can,
Yeah.
man, while I'm on.
Dude, come to Dubai. Your father's here. Come to Dubai. Make a
No,
stop to Dubai as well.
I think so. Round trip.
Yeah, sure. Stop by. Stop by for a few days. I'll get the Tanmay will also come in. We'll have a party over here.
Yeah, come
We,
on.
we'll do a live together. All right, it's been a pleasure, guys. I don't think we'll stop talking otherwise.
Mm.
Let's end the live. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming in, and
Thank you.
Thank you
we'll
for
see you
having me.
guys. We'll see you guys very soon.
Mhm.